Alright, this is the Watchdog Show. This is October 15th, 2016. Um, since this is the first show, just going to quickly explain what this show will pretty much be about. Pretty much, it'll be news coverage, space weather news, weather. Uh, Apologize for the camera freezing up. I've been working on it past couple days. Uh, it doesn't seem to be improving. Um, uh, but yeah, like I was saying, we'll be covering weather, space weather, which I'll explain a little bit into that. Um, Political news, global news, pretty much anything that really hits the news. Um, so what I'm gonna do is start out with it's a good website.com, and I'll have the site up on my end. There we go. And the latest breaking stories. I don't see really anything really good. I do have the scroller on the bottom. I don't know how well you can see that. Um, that is the current past two stories. There is one from the State Department here. Statement: U.S. State Department of Islamic State attack in Baghdad, Iraq. This attack is yet another sign of Daesh's cowardice and contempt for human life, and their attempt to sow sectarian discord among the people of Iraq. It only underscores the importance of coalition efforts to support Iraq security forces in their campaign to defeat this terrorist group. The United States remains committed to that goal. And you can read more on that at the state.gov website. Full width. Move this thing a little bit more towards me. Um, uh, I know Trump defends himself on the recent sexual allegations. I do have. Let's look at space weather. Actually, space. There we go. Space. There we go. That way you guys can see what I see. This here is our star. Much completely quickly explain this. Um, the solar eruptions that you see, I can't really see it too good. So, come down to this chart here. This little blip here in this area, of course it's probably too small. That little blip shows how close to us the eruption would be. Our recent magnetic shield is shown here, and apparently there was a double flaring event on the star that if it was earthbound it would have been a kill shot for us, meaning the best way to find more about this is at spaceweathernews.com or Suspicious Observers, where they get more into depth on the actual if it loads the actual information that you would hear. The number one risk to Earth which is the sun. And it gets more into that of if a solar flare hits Earth large enough, what kind of damage it could do. This is at suspiciousobservers.org. I'll go ahead and throw this in the scroller, and that's oops, wrong one. I'll even see if I have that seen up. I'm gonna have the text up. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Apparently I should have been more prepared. Just throw it in here. Here we go. So if you want to find out more information, that'll be suspiciousobservers.org or Space Weather News. That capital O is actually 0 because of his YouTube channel. Here's what I want to cover here, and
the few small pops not visible on Soho, but what happened at the limb certainly is. We can see it was a double burst, and I really hope Obama's space weather people are paying attention. We're going to watch on Soho and then from behind the sun on stereo, while you marvel at the trillions of tons of plasma erupting into clouds that could hold thousands of suns themselves. Watch how the second CME catches up to and overcomes the first one. Folks, that could be one of the lucky situations where a double impact on top of our shield and rehab might have been a kill shot if it came our way.
So you can see on there how the double flaring works there, and the second one was actually a little bit faster than the first one, which would have been it would have been more like a large solar flare. And solar flares, when they hit our magnetic field, that's where you get the auroras at the North and South Pole. Well, I'm sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked there. So whenever it hits the magnetic field, it kind of blows that field some, and as you can call them like the fingertips of it, as they touch, that's where you get the aurora lights and stuff. It's a large electrical event, and when you talk about a large electrical event hitting the Earth, if it's large enough, it could cause transformer explosions. Could cause actual wires to melt and stuff. So it is a very dangerous thing, and if it's large enough, it can do a whole lot of damage, including knocking out the power grid completely. So, and if it's even large enough, it can also knock out the power worldwide. And you think, well, I don't know about that. Yeah, if it's large enough. So I'll go ahead and move off of this and hit up other news here. Did I want to cover this? I'll go ahead and hit up Rockstar from My Chemical Romance caught up in a serious traffic accident. I heard that he was, I believe he was in serious condition in the hospital. Let me see if I can find the vehicle. Actually, They did show the vehicle. There it is. I don't know how bad the accident really was, considering they just shown the back end of the vehicle. It looks like a bus hit them. The bus slammed into van on Park Street. So I'm guessing that they were in the bus. There he is right there. Already covered that. This is the KP index here that I was talking about, or maybe I didn't talk about it. This is a solar flaring here. The KP index of 9 is very serious, so it's just something to think about. Go ahead and roll with our I do have a phone line up at the moment. It'll be scrolling around again. Has a lot of 7s in it. You can listen in through the phone line if you're having problems with the video. I know on cell phones and stuff, the speeds are a little bit slower, and because the slower speed, you get a poor quality of the YouTube video. This will allow you to listen in to the broadcast, and you can also ask questions towards the end as well. Switch on me. Also, I am on the NoThievesAllowed.org chat room. So if you got any questions, you can just drop them in there. I'm also on Coach.com as well. That's Coach with a K. It's KOACH.com. I'm also in the YouTube chat room as well. So let's go to interact. Apparently there was news on this website off on the right. Apparently I'm not seeing it, so I don't know why I still have it up. Also, I got the breaking news website up still. I don't see anything big on here as well. Weather. Probably should have been a little bit more prepared. Apparently I woke up like 45 minutes ago, so I thought I said weather. There we go. This is a recent information. Is this even Hurricane Nicole? I'm not even sure. This is the hurricane that was going along the east coast, wound up going across Bermuda, and it is now someplace out there. Last I heard, it was actually straightening. I don't know what category it currently is at. Let me go back to the phone line though. probably should have. Let me see if I could pull up that phone number really quick. Here, profile. That number is 712-775-7035. I'll go ahead and say it again. It's 712-775-7035. You just call in that number. It's going to ask you for an access code. You'll see the access code on the bottom of the screen. It's 502. Hang on, it's so small. 624. It's 502-624, and that's just pretty much to keep the telemarketers and random callers out of the line. Let's see here. I wanted to see the earthquake list recently. We'll check the earthquake list. I did have one up. Here it is. From the most recent, it was a 6.4 in Papua New Guinea. Is this done by recent or done by size? This is done by recent. Okay, good. That was on October 15th. That's today. There's also one in Japan, but this was on September 26th. It was a 6.0, 6.9. Again, did I say October? I suppose it's been August. This is August 24th. This is the Fiji Island area. It was a 6.9. Anything for breaking news? Here's one that just popped up. It's Bernie Sanders in support of Proposition 61. What is that? The California Drug Price Relief Act. If we beat the drug industry in California, we're going to put them on the defense and lower the cost of medication across this country. Well, I do have to admit, medication is high, especially new drugs that come out. The problem is because the mass amount of research that actually goes into one. For example, when you got a new drug that rolls out, it's been tested, because obviously they don't want the lawsuits for it. It's been tested. It goes through multiple trials. It's given to people in trials. Then you have the research into it, into making it up to that point. And you gotta pay all the people for that. So when you think about it, of course, new drugs are gonna be pretty darn expensive because of the fact that all this research goes into it. It's kind of similar to like NASA, where they have to, where it costs them like 2 or 3, maybe even more, millions of dollars in order to create a satellite. Well, that's because of the technology, all the people that work into it and stuff like that. So in order for them to make it worthwhile, a price tag like that for another company that wants to put a satellite in space, that's pretty much where the course comes from, is all the development previously to work up to that point. And then you gotta make sure that the drug's safe. And most drug companies, they just go ahead and roll it out. And I've said this plenty of times before. When you take any kind of medication, it's still an experimental drug. You still don't know um, what the long-term effects are until years later. So you can't just simply say, "Oh yeah, it's safe," because we still don't understand how it affects the body. Um, Now they have DNA testing where they can figure out like what kind of cancer you have if you have cancer, and what kind of treatment option would be best for you. Apparently they could do that with the DNA, but they still can't quite tell you whether or not if a drug will actually hurt you or not, and in what ways. Uh, Moving over to Periscope Producer. Um, for those who are familiar with Periscope, let me get to the actual article. Actually, I'll start here then. Thanks for your interest in the. Uh, yeah, I'm reading the wrong thing. Periscope has always been put to the work by some organizations, including some news networks. Make this a little bit larger. The camera is in my way. Uh, that have utilized it for the streaming coverage of various things like weather and politics. Uh, Periscope Producer has also been used to live stream major award shows and other entertainments. Ultimately, producer facilities, blah blah blah. Anyways, Periscope is another platform. It's another social network that you can broadcast from. It's very popular because of the location base on it. So whenever you broadcast, you're able to show your location, and this is great for events or covering breaking news events. Um, Apparently, they're working with the Periscope Producer, which allows you more or less to be able to use more like a computer rather than the mobile phone, which is more of what Periscope tends to work really great with. Um, they are allowing it to work with. It's not just a computer, but it's also with. Well, I don't see it on here. I thought I did. The company says Periscope Producer allows for streaming from external sources. Example of those being things like pro grade cameras and streaming software. I'm running streaming software on here, so that allows me to be able to do all these different things on the screen and stuff like that. Um, but it allows me to easily connect with the server of my choice to be able to stream and stuff, which is what this software would work with on Periscope as well, uh, which will be great for those like sometimes when they cover weather on the news and stuff on a particular news account. Um, they would set up the camera to face a TV screen, and then they'll kind of explain a little bit. This will allow them to be able to actually put the weather image right into play on the screen, and if the software allows it and stuff, they can actually draw out like little boxes or little circles and stuff to explain the storms and stuff like that. Um, Pretty much do it. U.S. State Department says it's condolence the barbaric state. The camera always has to be in the way. Attacks that targeted mourners in the funeral tent in Baghdad, Iraq. That's on the state.gov website. Typhoon Karen made landfall over Philippines at 2:30 a.m. local time. Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. European Space Agency on death of Ukraine astronaut, astronomer. We are saddened to learn the death of Klim Churyumov, who discovered Rosetta Comet 67P with, I'm not going to bother saying that name. The comet that Rosetta mission landed on was in 2014. He has died at the age of 80. Russian Space Agency says. Like I said, I should have been more prepared with this. The whole point was to actually start my news research at 12, be completed by 1, and just like ready to test out and roll things. Apparently I got a really late start. Donald Trump campaign raised $100 million in September, according to the email statement Bloomberg, and you can read that at bloomberg.com. Oregon Zoo in Portland to close at 1 p.m. Saturday in anticipation of severe weather. I didn't know that there were going to be severe weather events out that way. Oops, sorry. I got a really noisy keyboard, a really noisy mouse. The cool thing is the keyboard lights up, so a little bit brighter. No, that's not what I want. I want to be able to pull up the other. Every time I come to nowhere.gov, they make it a little bit harder every time they update it and change the looks and stuff to get to the actual global weather. Here, Portland, Oregon, that's what I want. Weather radio. Weather. Here, I got a better website. I'm gonna go to Weather Underground, WUnderground.com. And we'll go ahead and pull this up, see what kind of severe weather is going on. So it does look like they're getting hit by rain and stuff. This is out in California. This is active advisory, wind advisory, coastal flood advisory, beach hazard statement. Go ahead and transition this in. Why did it do that? just transition. There we go. Trying to pull up an actual map that shows all severe weather. That's what I'm looking for, the severe weather map. Okay, so high wind warnings. It's pretty much just a lot of wind. It looks like it doesn't look like winds damage trees and power lines, but it doesn't look like any severe weather as far as severe thunderstorms warnings with hail and tornadoes. Let's come out this way. This is where you would get your, this is fire weather zones. I don't see anything major as far as actual severe weather with hail and stuff like that. But I do have the call line open if anybody wants to call in. Where's the number? I'll find it here. Go ahead and bring up this map. I like how my scenes keep moving around here. Bring that up. I'm also in the No Thieves Allowed chat room, so if anybody has questions, whatever, you could just go ahead and pop them in there. Hold on, this was about 35 minutes ago. Possible shooting on Trail D. Boyd. Let's see if I can bring that up. That'll be out in California. Nothing's coming up for that one. I don't see anything coming up. He puts in Chicago. That doesn't look like Chicago. It looks like there's much for big news. Is there somebody else on the call line? I know sometimes I get popping sounds on there. I'm also in the YouTube chat room if anybody wants to go ahead and post questions. If you do call in on the call line, please mute your microphone and I'll go ahead and start questions here. Actually, not too friendly. There we go. I was trying to adjust that map, but it doesn't seem to want to adjust right. Yeah, apparently I don't have much news to really bring forth. There was a whole bunch of news throughout the week. This one's not updating right. Been up for a while. I don't know why it's saying just new. here. Looks like I ran out of things here, so if anybody on the call line to ask questions or anything like that, if you are on the call line, remember to unmute your microphone before you start talking. Let me go see if there is anybody in the call line. No, it doesn't look like there is. Let's see. Here we go. Ninth woman accuses Donald Trump of groping. This is more of a political tactic by the Democrats, because the way that they released the audio tape of it, and the fact that the women describe it according to the audio tape of it, and none of these women have come forward beforehand, and they're just doing this at the end of the race to kind of hurt Donald Trump and to help bring women to want to vote more for Hillary or somebody else rather than Trump. On October 7th, as the political world convulsed from the revelation that Trump has grabbed about kissing and groping women without their consent, Kathy Heller, 63, was sitting in her New York home fielding incredulous emails from a friend. "I keep thinking about how he treated you," her friend wrote, hours after showing Heller the tape, obviously not an isolated incident. I would like to see that tape, though. This is apparently there is no tape. I would have thought maybe they would have put it on here. Apparently what was revealed was just locker room talk. That's the best way to kind of put it. Do I have that one video up? I might have closed it out. I think I already closed it out. Let's see here. WikiLeaks, I know today released another batch of emails. I can't believe I lost that one. Let me double check one more thing. Nope, it's not there either. I got so many windows open. That probably explains why the camera is lagging so bad. Well, I know that I had the audio for it someplace. Let's see here. take me long to find that either. What website is this from? Content was black because it was by Advanced Security. I can't even read it. They put the freaking words on the video. There we go. Or not.
This kid makes stains like crazy, so we got our new HE washing machine, but it took forever.
Turns out it wasn't the machine, it was our detergent, so we switched to Tide.
So much for muting it.
How did you feel hearing that?
Well, obviously it was very offensive. However, I think it's totally irrelevant. I mean, it was so long ago, and I do believe that most men will talk about women in ways that they would never talk about publicly. And of course, if they would have known that they were being recorded, there's no doubt in my mind the conversation would have been totally different. Nobody is perfect. Here's the issues. Last night in that debate, they defined their issues. They lined the marks in the sand. Number one, Roe v. Wade. Okay, Hillary Clinton doesn't care about murdering babies, dismembering abortions. That's okay with her. Okay?
Wait a second.
Religious freedom.
We're talking, I appreciate you talking about substance, and that is important, Vicki, but we're talking about locker room conversation.
Yes.
My question was about, is it okay that a man who wants to be the president of the free world is bragging and admits to it, and yes, he's apologized.
Yeah, well,
to
that's wrong.
assault.
Okay. Yes, but that is wrong, absolutely. But here's the thing, he's not running to be the Pope. Look at the culture of our country.
Oh, I gotta show his face. I gotta show his face. Watch this guy's face. We'll come back to proper scene here. Apparently I got it on a particular window, so let's see here. It's all while playing
How did you feel hearing that?
Well, obviously it was very offensive. However, I think it's totally irrelevant. I mean, it was so long ago, and I do believe that most men will talk about women in ways that they would never talk about publicly. And of course, if they would have known that they were being recorded, there's no doubt in my mind the conversation would have been totally different. Nobody is perfect. Here's the issues. Last night in that debate, they defined their issues. They lined the marks in the sand. Number one, Roe v. Wade. Okay, Hillary Clinton doesn't care about murdering babies, dismembering abortions. That's okay with her. Okay?
Wait a second.
Religious freedom.
We're talking, I appreciate you talking about substance, and that is important, Vicki, but we're talking about locker room conversation.
Yes.
My question was about, is it okay that a man who wants to be the president of the free world is bragging and admits to it, and yes, he's apologized
Yeah, well,
to
that's
sexual
wrong.
assault.
Okay, yes, but that is wrong, absolutely. But here's the thing: he's not running to be the Pope. Look at the culture of our country.
See his
Everybody
face?
knew he had strip clubs, but still, the millions of people chose him to be the nominee. I mean, this is the kind of person that needs to lead our country. God can use anybody. He used the harlots. And that's the thing. It's all about what God can do. God can do this. God can use this man.
But you know, the things that
It's all a part.
millions of children heard that, boys and girls. And boys
Yes.
may take
Yes.
their cues
Yes.
from this guy who wants to be our president and behave in accordance
Okay, but here's the thing: when Bill Clinton was president, my children came home from school and they had no idea it was actually called the Oval Office. They thought it was called the Oral Office because of the talk in the elementary school. Bill Clinton educated my children at a much younger age than I wanted to.
But Vicki, Bill Clinton isn't running for president right now.
Exactly.
We're talking about Hillary Clinton.
But his
But
wife
his
is.
wife is, and they are a pair. The two are one.
I just wanted to share that. Change this over to. You can also radio.com. You could use that as a short link to get to this. I'll go ahead and close this out. I'll help with the lag. You can also use that to. That's for if you don't bookmark it and stuff like that. What else? Here, I'll show you guys I'll show you guys a little bit into a sneak peek of what the NTA. I need to do a large screen. There it is. Nope. Create a new scene. So much things to do. And wrong thing. And play capture. There we go.